Hello, good evening. You're watching TVRI's English News Service, bringing news live from home and around the world. I'm Mutia Irina. And those were our top stories for today. Now let's begin our first report from Jakarta. The South China Sea dispute became one of the topics discussed in the 27th ASEAN and the East Asian Summit, currently taking place in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The issue became the focus of the summit due to its potential in disrupting the global economy.
Indonesia's political stance in the South China Sea dispute remains neutral and unchanged, although China has issued its 9-dash line that went straight to the Southeast Asian Maritime's heart. Indonesia is committed to support negotiations to maintain the stability of the region by establishing the 2002 declaration of the Code of Conduct that regulates any behaviors in the South China Sea. Coordinating Ministry for Maritime Affairs Deputy Minister Arif Hafaz Ugraseno said that relations between ASEAN member states must be strengthened. Indonesia for 25 years has been a leading figure in setting up meetings and workshops to mitigate the conflict.
For us, we have already submitted our positions on the 9-dash line in 2010, and our position is very clear. Namely, number one is that any claim to the sea must be based on United Nations Convention Law of the Sea, from UNCLOS. So any claim that is not based in UNCLOS, we will refuse them and we will consider them as unacceptable. And in South China Sea, we have not only 9-dash line that Indonesia refused to accept, the old Philippine map, the Malaysian 1979 map, and the Vietnamese map that is made from an excessive baselines. That is, we believe the baseline of the Vietnamese government is not in line with UNCLOS. Indonesia is now considered to be a country that fulfill UNCLOS in its baseline across the country. So I think it is very important for us to maintain this position. The underlying issue is that we need to play by the book. We need to play in order with, in accordance with, we need to play in accordance with the law of the sea. I think it's very important for us to maintain that countries in the regions adhere to the law of the sea.
Meanwhile, Maritime Affairs expert Hashim Jalal said that in ASEAN, Indonesia must continue to play an active role as the interlocutor, inviting countries to discuss important issues in informal settings.
The 9-dash line is not territorial, but it is an indication line that islands or features inside those 9-dash lines belong to China. That is the way I understand. And China said yes, in a way, and but those features also have territorial waters around it, territorial claims around it, and what the Chinese call the adjacent waters. Now, I have been asking all the time myself, what is the adjacent waters? The features, the island, and the adjacent waters. What are the adjacent waters in terms of law? Not very clear.
South China Sea observer Veramala Anjaya hopes that the Code of Conduct could be applied soon to mitigate the conflict.
Because this issue threatens ASEAN unity and security and peace in this region. But at the same time, Indonesia must unite all these ASEAN countries. At least we should have one voice on this issue, because that is very important, not for our interest, but it is everybody's interest. Even China also will get a lot of benefits if we have a peaceful situation, and then we will have a code of conduct in this issue. So that's why Indonesia push forward and play a bigger role in the ASEAN summit as well as East Asia summit.
Many hope that by raising the South China Sea issue in the ASEAN and East Asia Summit in Malaysia, leaders would come up with a solution to end the conflict in the region.